Okay, what's going on, guys? We're going to go through meta midfielders here like Barella and Valverde that can fit into your team. We're going to go from beast players and we're going to do from mid-tier and budget end. So no Kantes, no Hullets, stuff like that. Just cheap meta cards that you can get hopefully on your first day or your first couple of days. So let's start. The first one is Llorente. Now Llorente is a right back or right mid this year, but you can always move him in game or you can sub him on. Don't forget, guys, subbing a guy on is one of the best things you can do that no one does. But one chemistry style you're going to see more prevalent this year is the Gladiator chemistry style. It's because it gives you the balance, but this is the most important thing, defensive awareness. I'm not Gladiator, so should I say Guardian? Defensive awareness is very important this year, guys. It's because the way the player moves when they're defending with the run and jockey also depends on the defensive awareness. So this stat is probably going to be one of the most important stats compared to any other stat defensively, in my opinion. But Llorente card speaks for himself. A very, very good card. High medium work rates as well. Can basically play anywhere on the pitch. But because he's got naturally good sprint speed, we can put then a Guardian on him. And he can pass, he can shoot, he can basically do everything. A perfect box to box. Even you can play him at CDM. Ball style weak foot as well. Quite easy to link as well with the Spanish, and you get La Liga. We got Valverde that you might see on the earlier team. That's one of the best teams, by the way, that I've made so far. Again, another similar thing here. We put the Guardian on him again. He can get the balance up as well, which is quite important. And then you, of course, get the defensive awareness up as well. High 6 foot. A very cheap CDM, I would say, compared to like other CDMs that are going to be very expensive. He'll probably last you until January, this card. So I've always liked Valverde, but I would say this fixes up his balance a little bit. Now, that is fine on the 84s, but what about the 83s and stuff like that? We got another underrated card this year, and this is Layman. This, in my opinion, would be one of the better CDMs in the game. I'd probably lean towards a Shadow here because he's got pretty good balance anyway, but he's medium high. So perfect for CDM. He does have a 3-star, but for CDM, it's not that bad. 87 aggression, 90 stamina, and you can see the 87 defensive awareness. He can do a bit of everything. He can't really shoot, but he still has good defending, physicality, and pace, which is the most important things. These three are kind of the most important things, I would say, for a CDM. You kind of get away with not having that good of a physicality, and then everything else like short passing will be around about 70. But if it's 83s, like this play, it's a bonus. You've got a good agility and balance, it's a bonus. So that is something I want to mention as well. Medium-high work rates, of course, being very important. We do have Renato Sanchez. Now, he is going to be expensive, I would say. Not like 1k. Don't expect it to be 1k. He'll be like 5 to 6k normally. Probably even go up to 10k. You might see him even higher in the beginning when he just comes down. But he's a very, very good card. I think you put a Shadow on him. Again, you have the exact same thing. You bring his pace up. The defensive awareness is not the best, okay? So if you want to play more of a CDM role, you could, if you want to, you could opt for an anchor. Now, the problem with the Shadow and anchor, you can see you no longer get the full boost. You see it's +8 now. So Shadows are not, and Hunters are not as powerful as they once were. So that is why I'm leaning more towards Guardian. But you can see he's a bit on the slow side. So you can use things like Sentinel because that also improves the max defense awareness. Don't forget, you can't really get maxed in +8. +8 is basically the max you can get. You can't get anything better than +8. So I would say Shadow also or a Guardian on him. He's a perfect as a box-to-box, high, 4-star as well. Then we go to McKennie, should I say. Another very, very good card. High as well. I would again lead to either a Guardian or a Shadow. Again, he could do a bit of everything. A bit better attack positioning here. Passing, it would be a bit better. One other alternative is if you're playing him as a centre mid, I would say put him an engine on him. Because he's 3-star, high, medium, 6 foot. You do need that agility and balance boost as well. So you can put an engine on the card, and that way you improve his passing as well. But nonetheless, he's still a good box-to-box in the mid. Juventus as well. So I think you'll be pretty much on the cheaper side. We're talking about a couple of K here. Then we've got De Jong, more on the expensive side. But I think with a Shadow here, he's a very good card. Again, Shadow or Guardian. I wouldn't play him as a CDM. He's high, medium. So I wouldn't really play him as a CDM. I think, was it 2-3 years ago? It was medium high, if I'm not mistaken. But he's perfect alongside a Valverde or like a CDM card. So if he sits there, you can pass the ball to him. You can bring the ball forward, distribute the ball. He's a very good card. Unfortunately, he can't really shoot. Now, there's one thing that you can do is you can put a Gladiator on him to improve that finishing and get that shot power up a lot as well. But the problem is the long shots are not that good. So he can run into the box last minute, but he's not going to be the best card. I prefer a Llorente or Valverde over De Jong. personally speaking. We got Baku, although he's a right mid, he can actually play centre mid with alternate positions. These are secondary positions that you can use and get the play on for chemistry. He is high medium as well, but this card, why I like him a lot. Now, he actually has good defensive awareness. If you look at, if I put, for example, here again, a Guardian on him, you can see he ends up getting 82 defensive awareness. So he's actually a very good card. He could probably play as a CDM. He could probably get the job done there because he's got good stand tackling. He's got 85 with a Guardian, and he's got 82 defensive awareness as well, and very, very good balance and dribbling. So if you need a centre mid that can push the ball going forward alongside a Goretzka or even a Lema, if you're looking for a Bundesliga team, this Baku card is a very, very good card. And he's got very, very good stamina as well. And he's got pretty decent shooting. Again, you could also lean towards a Gladiator to get his finishing and shot power up. His long shots are not the best. You could even go with a Deadeye, because a Deadeye you can get his long shots up. To be honest, you could probably change it up and get it a bit higher. But I'd go with Deadeye just to get his passing up, especially his short passing as well. Then we're going to go to Dada, I think that's how you say his name. Medium, not the best, okay? But for a cheap league, La Liga player who's Spanish, you can get a pretty good card. 3-star. Is he kind of a card that can get the job done? But when you put a shadow on him, he ends up having 91 sprint speed. And he ends up getting 8 defensive awareness, 85 stand tackling, and he's got pretty good dribbling. So he actually brings up the option of being a pretty decent card. And he's got very good passing, 86 short passing, 85 long passing, 84 curve and vision. So nonetheless, although he's medium, he's a pretty good card. So alongside a good CDM like Valverde, I think he'll be very, very good. Zakaria, another top tier card that you're going to see a lot in the game. I would say a shadow is also going to be good just to max out that pace. I think he's going to be the go-to CDM. Expect him to be about 10k when the game comes out. Maybe a week later, it'll be like 4 or 5k as he gets packed more. But he's going to be a very, very good card. You want to get this guy in your team. Honestly, I would put Engine on him just to get that agility and balance up, or I'll lean towards a Guardian to get that balance up. But to be honest, personally speaking, I think a Shadow is perfect because the agility balance is pretty low anyway. He's 6'3". He's still going to be clunky. You can't make him any more liquid than he already is. So Engine or a Shadow is what I would go with him. Shadow being more on the defensive end as well. Then we have Tonali, one of the best centre mids in the game, or CDMs. I would go with a Shadow as well. Because he's got a very, very good agility and balance, very good physicality. Passing is pretty good, and he's got long shots. This might be one of the best CDMs because the power shot mechanic is something that's going to be very important this year. So with him, you could have him as a CDM, pass the ball to him outside the box and do a power shot with him because of his power, long shots and his shot power. He's got the pace to run back and forward. He's got the passing ability to maneuver, dribbling physicality as well. He does like the jumping, but at 5'11", I don't think it's an issue. One of the best centre mids that money can buy, and definitely I would say top 5 CDMs for a budget at 84 rated. You know, you're probably going to say, is it really a budget? Okay, fine, maybe it's not a 1k card, but we're going to go into those as well. Then we go over to Emre Can, another very, very good card. I would again go with either a Guardian to get the balance up or a Shadow. This card can actually play in centre back as well. You can actually play in centre back. So what you can do is you can put an anchor on him, but I'll suggest a Shadow. You can play him in centre back or you can play him in CDM. One of the best CDMs for a budget, 82 rated. Always a cheap card, a couple of K when the game came out. I think it was like 10k when the game came out last year in the web app time. But he's such a very, very good card. Honestly, I'd recommend it. He probably dropped down to about 1 or 2k over time, over about a week or so. But definitely someone you want in your starter squad. A lot of cards like Lema, they've got these really, really good cards. Pedro, perfect centre mid. And you can put a Hunter on him to get his shooting up a little bit. Or you can put a Shadow. I'd recommend a Shadow. His defensive awareness is not that amazing, so I wouldn't play him as CDM. But I would say as a centre mid, he is fine. Then we've got Barella. Again, the exact same thing like Tonali. Tonali and Barella looking like a two good deal combination. High, 3-star. But alongside Tonali, you're talking about 2 cards that can do everything. He can also shoot as well. And when you put a Shadow on him, you get that defensive awareness up as well. You've got perfect agility balance. Tonali and Barella are going to be 2 of the best CDM centre mid duos from Serie A inside the game, especially with Martinez up front. You got some very, very good spicy cards right there. Very, very good passing as well. Not really a weakness. Par his shooting. One of the top tier cards you can get in this FIFA. Goretzka, one of the best in the mids. I don't have to say anything on him. You probably know this. You looked at him. Hunter or Shadow, it's up to you. I would say Shadow if he's more of a centre mid going inside the box. That's why I see a lot of top tier pro players using him in the beginning of the game. Someone like Lema alongside him because he's got that shot power and that long shots. Or you put a Shadow on him and then he gets a defensive awareness of a bit more higher. I'd recommend a Hunter though, guys, just to get that shot power up. You've got one of the best centre mids in the game. I think definitely he's going into my team. As soon as I get the money from him, he's going to be expensive. Don't get me wrong. It's 87 rate, expect him 200k. But it's going to be one of the best cards in the game. Then we've got Kessia, another one. Shadow again here. One of a perfect CDMs. High. Perfect for La Liga. Can play like a Valverde with better agility and balance. We've got Pellegrini more on the cheaper side. That can be an option to Barella. High as well. More on the cheaper end. But I would still prefer Barella on top. Then we have So, another good card as well. You put a Shadow on it. More on the cheaper end. A lot like a Lema So combination will be pretty good if you're on a budget as well. He's only 80 rated, he should be cheap. Camavinga, another one, La Liga, pretty good card as well. I'd probably go with a Shadow as well. A good centre mid, not a CDM, but more of a centre mid card, has got a bit of everything. Then we have Fred, the exact same thing again. Either a Hunter or a Shadow. I see more of an attacking centre mid or a box-to-box centre mid. Does have a 3-star weak foot. I wish he had a 4-star weak foot. We've of course got Jude Bellingham, the exact same thing here. I would go with a Shadow on him, or I'd even recommend a Hunter. So it depends on how you're playing him. I'm still going to be using Shadow, Hunter, Engine, and Guardian majority of the time, as opposed to the other ones. Uribe as well, another very good card as well. We're going to go with a Shadow on him. He can play CDM because he's got medium-high work rates, so he can play perfectly there. And then we got Paqueta, the exact same thing, and we got Bissouma, one of my favorite cards this year. Chat, no guess, this guy might be one of the best cards in Premier League. If he had medium-high work rates, it would have been amazing, or high, amazing. The reason for this is because he's got 80 defense awareness as it is, so you can just get away with using an Engine on him to bring his pace up. But I'd recommend either a Hunter if you are going to be using the shot power, but I wouldn't recommend it. I would just say either just go straight with a Shadow. You need to get that pace up. The pace is too low. You could, if you want to, in theory, go for like a Catalyst, which is another good option. But I'll say just put a Shadow on him. Get his defense awareness up and stand tackling, and you got a very good card. And that is pretty much it. There's a lot of good centre mids, and I've kind of chosen the ones that are kind of like budget tier to like mid tier. There's other few players like Allen, but the problem is Allen is he's just, in my opinion, a bit too slow. He's still a very good card, but this video's already gone over 12 minutes and there's so many cards like that to use. Idrissa Gana Gay, of course, you have Bentancur, but again, these guys are just a bit too slow in my opinion. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. That is the Meta Beast centre mids for all leagues. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, of course. I'll catch you next time. And let me know if you want to see any more squad builders in the next couple of days or so. Let me know if I'm coming to the web app. Anyway, guys, peace out and I'll catch you next time. Peace.